Oh my god, hello, g'day. I am Katie. I am the fairy webmother from Perla. I'm a web designer. I make templates for Squarespace and I also help a lot of people DIY their websites and their brands and their emails. This little podcast has been a long time coming. It has haunted my dreams for at least a year and a half, and I'm finally stepping into the podcast studio, pushing down any nerves that I have, armed with coffee and some misplaced confidence. I am starting with a topic that may not be so directly related to web design, but I think it's going to be relatable. And I think it might hit for a lot of you. My biggest achievement from Perla has been really surprising. And I actually got asked this question the other day when I was doing a little podcast episode for the Go-To Gal. You can go and search her on Instagram. And she asked me what my biggest achievement in business was. And the words that started to come out of my mouth even surprised me, because it wasn't ROI or how many templates I've sold or working for Squarespace or all those sorts of things. No, it was what I have coined the client-to-bestie pipeline, TM. And this is basically being so solidly in my authenticity that I've magnetized such cool people to my business and to my Instagram or however they found me. And I have created besties from them. And it's been so natural, so organic, and it's truly the most delicious part of having this business and why I would really hesitate to give it up. And in fact, in some of the hardest times of business, where I do think about burning it all to the ground, don't we all? I step into gratitude again and I remember the people that I've managed to find via Perla. So let's tuck into that. So we do hear it being thrown around a lot that successful businesses are the ones who connect on a more emotional level in their authenticity. When you are your business, when you are a solopreneur, or maybe you have a small team, we know full well at this point that it's a huge part of how we can be successful as a small business in this day and age. There has to be a personal element, there has to be storytelling, there has to be realness and relatability. I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert for where all of these episodes are likely going to go, and that's that I will start by talking about business and web design and branding, and I will end up talking about something a lot deeper, because this is a huge theme, not just of this podcast, but of my business as a whole, is that it is that deep. Websites are that deep. Your business, especially when you're a solopreneur, is that deep because it is you. Now, where I'm going with this is that how to be authentic requires you to know who you are, which is easier said than done. I will talk more about this in future episodes because it's really near and dear to my heart. But self-actualization, self-discovery, therapy, all of these things are going to make you really feel solid in who you are and how you show up. There are lots of other ways outside of Instagram that we can still be this magnetic human person that people fall in love with. And I'll go into that in a more practical sense shortly. Having a relational business isn't this nice to have anymore. It's truly the backbone, and it's certainly been true of my business, and which is why I love working with solo business owners so much. And I don't really target bigger businesses at all because it is such an incredible advantage to be able to be personal, to have a one-to-one feeling on your website, even if you aren't offering yourself and your time directly in your business. And that is something that bigger brands will never have. When you show up as you, your people find you. So my client journey will often look a little bit more like a friendship arc, which is that it starts out with this mutual gratitude and admiration. Oh my God, I love this. You're so creative. Oh my God, your business looks so cool. A little bit more back and forth when they need help, and that builds trust. Before you know it, we're sending DM voice notes. We're fangirling each other on Instagram and making sure we hype up each other's posts or whatever. And then it's devolved into a full blown love fest, personal numbers exchanged, regular Zoom calls to actually know about each other's lives. I'll rattle off a few amazing situations that I have cultivated from Perla. Most recently, a invite to a wedding in India. I know, bucket list vibes. Lucy and I have not met. Our voice memo game popped off so hard over the last few years. And she's also a web designer and has bought a few of my templates. And we have such an incredible respect for each other that she felt compelled to invite me to her wedding, and I will be going. I have my bestie Emily Wild, who is in Glasgow in Scotland, and she bought one of my templates. Again, mutual admiration, and the exact pipeline that I just described is how things went with Emily and I met up with her last year in July when I did a little bit of a European summer. So absolutely adorable, and we are in touch essentially every single day. So also my bookkeeper, Mel from the Number Smiths. She lives about an hour away from me, and that is also a friendship that's blossomed. I haven't done any work for Mel, but she has been an incredible support to me. She sees all my receipts, she sees my soul. I have Tiff in Texas, and she's an incredible copywriter. Again, we have not met. We are dying to see each other. She has a whole family life in her part of the world, so it's down to me to get my ass over there. Know that your whatever money you give me will be probably funding these trips. And last but certainly not least, I have to tell you about Angel, who is an amazing visibility coach. And she found me on Etsy. She left me the most incredible review, also guessing my birth chart, and she understood my crazy, insane style. She certainly matches my energy in that regard. And so we've been amazing collaborators for years now. And the work that I create with her for clients is some of the best I've ever created, whether it's the emotional support or even on a level of me posting a cute photo and getting the most incredible DMs with thirsty comments, far better than any loitering man from Hinge provides me. So these relationships don't happen by accident. They are cultivated through sharing yourself online, not some polished persona. I am so far from polished, and the Instagram facade can really trick us into thinking that we have to show up in a particular way, but people will always value realness over polish. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I feel more okay with that than ever. I will never be the business that is selling the most templates because mine are not for everyone. They are pretty fucking crazy. So I am so grateful the fact that it appears that I have so many people that buy my templates and work with me after a real hell yes feeling. And that is the real difference. I'm happy with the cult status as opposed to clocking mega high numbers. So, some practical ways to have what I would call bestie energy when you show up online is by using your voice as much as possible. And what I mean by that is showing up on Instagram with your face and your voice where you can, and writing with your voice. So, where possible, try and avoid third person copy, especially if you are a solopreneur. If you're not a we team, don't pretend you are. There's no need. Say it's you, because that is a huge selling point. Figure out how you talk in real life versus some strange, too formal version of yourself. I think a lot of us realized this at least a few years ago when we all started thinking about copy a little bit more. If you're unsure how to write how you speak, then record your voice and then get it transcribed and see how your voice looks written down, basically. It'll sound shocking, and there'll be so many ums and ahs and all that kind of stuff. But this was a huge turning point for me because obviously I'm Australian and I, in real life, use a lot of slang and I'm never putting a G on the end of stuff most of the time. So, really think about the lingo that you're actually saying in real life and how you pronounce it, and can that be written appropriately. So, I do swears as well, and I don't go too hard, but I definitely include some. I'm less likely to do swears on my emails just so that I don't trigger spam filters too much. But I take the risk on Instagram in terms of shadow banning, particularly because so many people who find me are in the Northern Hemisphere. The fact that I wasn't leaning into my Australianness was a total missed opportunity. And it really made me think about how I used to work for a fashion brand that was based in beautiful Bondi Beach. And most of their customers were in the Northern Hemisphere and they really hammed up the Australian. And so I thought, okay, I just need to lean into this person that I actually am. And the more that I did, the more that it delighted people and it made me feel seen and accepted. So it was honestly one of the best decisions I ever made. And I definitely poke fun at it. Like in the footer of my website, it says WTF is a perler and it links to Urban Dictionary meaning of what that is, which is, if you would like to know, a perler is a slang term for that's awesome. Oh, it's a bloody perler, is how you would say it, which is, it's so embarrassing in a way to say, but at the same time, like I had so many people being like, Katie, what's a perler? And it would always make me giggle. So I thought, oh my gosh, it's a total missed opportunity to not put this on my website. In summary, surprise, delight, be as authentic as possible. And where you are unsure how to be authentic, then really do the self discovery work and really listen to what people say that they like about you and what they find charming and cool and what they would never have figured out just from looking at your website or your Instagram that they only realized when they actually talked to you on email or worked with you directly. Yes, you are building a business, but you're also building connections too. Where capitalism and the patriarchy and the masculine says your network is your net worth, let's remember that the feminine says community is queen. All we're doing is building community. The more people that know you, love you, get behind you, it naturally creates word of mouth. And I'm so delighted that I have this incredible base of women who shout my names from the rooftops. There's only so many times they can give me money and work with me, but they can tell everyone they know, oh my God, I've worked with Katie before. She's the coolest chick and you got to go get one of her templates or you got to go ask her about doing your website for you. This is where I get all my leads and my traffic, and so much of the money I make, I can trace it back to these people. And that is a huge thing to be able to say. So I built a brand and it basically ended up as a coven. Oh, hey, honey, I hope you don't mind that I pop in right now to let you know about something I made. It is my newest Squarespace template called Chameleon. They are not templatey templates, and I designed them for people who do not vibe with the beige, boring, boho, blank canvas templates that are out there. So you can start with a design that is really fun, and if you're not that maximalist, you can strip elements out. Go have a look at Chameleon. There's 2 different designs there, and so that you don't get paralysis, just know that both of those designs can chameleon into each other. That's the whole point. I have amazing tutorials in there for you as well. They are bite-sized, they are not intense, and I purposely make sure that they're not boring. My neurodivergent ass can't stand boring tutorials, and I know that most of you can't either. If you need a beautiful one-page website to get your amazing idea off the ground, then Chameleon is the girl for you. It's so easy to get caught up in money, growth, stats, but the real magic to me comes from true connection. This is a foundation of business longevity and loyalty and really keeping that fire going to stay in business, because it's hard work and you need that community to keep on going. If you relate to this, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. It seriously lights me up. It's so important for us to remember our power as a sisterhood, and that there is power in running your business, femininity first. So don't underestimate it, even if the rhetoric out there says otherwise. There's a beautiful book as well called Shakti Leadership. I recommend that if you want to feel a little bit more inspired in that way.